Hi, I'm Save the Frogs founder, Dr. Kerry Kriger. We are in the midst of a Save the Frogs Day planning session. It is April 4th, 2023, and Save the Frogs Day, the 15th annual Save the Frogs Day, is coming up on April 28th. Save the Frogs Day takes place April 28th every year. We're in our 15th year. Save the Frogs Day is the world's largest day of amphibian education and conservation action. My goal is to inspire people out there who care about frogs to go out into their community and do something beneficial for amphibians, hopefully educate their local community. And that could be through pure education events, could be through wetland restoration, tree planting, or anything else that you are inspired to do that you think will be good for amphibians. So I'm here to answer any questions, and we have a wetland construction event taking place April 27th and 28th, Meridosha National Wildlife Refuge in Illinois. And we have Stephanie Beischer online from the USFWS. She's going to be helping to lead that event. And Margot is here from a frog house, and she'll be leading her event. She won a Save the Frogs Day grant for that. That's taking place first week of May. She'll be out in Illinois helping us build wetlands. And we have Sherry from North Carolina, who's got many years of experience holding Save the Frogs Day events as well. So I'm happy to get into any of these events. And a question just came in because before I hit record, we were talking about creating art and graphic design for Save the Frogs Day events, or for any event or anything you need it for. And we're eventually going to open up Canva and use that. They do have a free level for Canva. They have a pro level. If you are a nonprofit organization, a registered 501c3 public charity, you can get a free pro Canva account, which I definitely encourage you to do because you'll get some added benefits there, and it comes in handy. And we're going to check that out and probably even make up some Save the Frogs Day graphic design right here. All right. And so a couple questions coming in. Is the AI art program available as an artist? I do find that sad. Yes, some artists may find it sad, but some non-artists or artistically challenged people may find it very, very happy to know that they can create some cool looking art. And I put myself in that group. So I think we can use it. You know, there's nothing wrong with creating your own art. And maybe some people who are used to getting paid to deliver some art on commission will find that problematic. But hey, maybe at the same time, the human generated art will become so rare that human generated art will be valued more and people will make more money. It's really hard to tell. I'm a musician. There's electronic music. People call themselves DJs and hit buttons at a computer. People listen to it. Some people like it, some people don't. The world goes on. There's still rock and roll and all kinds of other music taking place, even with that electronic music. So things change, but you know, the real thing will always be desired. That's for certain. At the same time, it's good to make use of the tools available to us. So the question was, is the AI program available? There are various, and I can just about guarantee you that about every week or two, there's going to be a new one coming out because AI is massive in the last month, or we'll call it the last 4 or 5 months. Okay, there's the text AI that you can type in your prompt and say, write me up a 3-paragraph email that details the reasons why somebody should set up their own Save the Frogs Day event. Okay, and boom, it'll probably look up Save the Frogs Day online, find a page about it, and pop that out. You got your 3 paragraphs, good to go. Check it out, edit it, make it a little bit better. Or maybe you like to write it yourself. I like to write, but at the same time, sometimes there's stuff that, you know, I just give me my 3 paragraphs. I need to keep on moving. So make it a tool that you can use if you want to use it. Back to the question, is the AI program available? The one that I primarily use is Midjourney. It is available in Discord. You can go to the Midjourney website. I think it's just midjourney.com, and they'll say join our Discord. You have to go there. You have to, you know, prove you're a real person or something like that. And then, well, I'll say actually, I read 3 days ago that they got rid of their free trial because people were abusing it, meaning they were setting up lots of free trials and never going to the paid platform. They were giving you out about 30 or 40 free, make creations, we'll call it. So Mid-Journey, it may not be free anymore, but I paid $96 for it for a full year, and I get like 200 creations a month, which is probably all I'd be able to handle. So let's just call that unlimited for the normal person, and $8 a month, and I can get awesome art that people really like, and it's ready to go. The alternative is, because I build websites, I'm building web pages, I'm creating presentations. I like stuff visual for Save the Frogs. I don't want just blocks of text. And I use Envato, ENVATO, for stock photos, because that's another thing. I've got plenty of frog photos. I've used most of the good ones on the site. And I've got a whole lot of photos contributed by other people in the past of amphibians. But, I've used a lot of them. And rather than me having to go ask people like, hey, can you contribute photos, or anyone have a photo of a pool frog run a lesson A? I need it for this article about UK amphibians, like I did the other day, just published one. Go to Envato, go to the stock photos, download it, and call it done. Same with the AI art. So there's Mid-Journey, maybe not free anymore. Probably worth paying for it, though, if you know you like it and are going to use it. Other options, though, there's Stable Diffusion. I only used it once. The image I got out, it looked real. It looked like a photo, but it wasn't as artistic as I wanted. But, I didn't explore the platform too much. I didn't read the documentation or anything. And Adobe just came out with Firefly, which I thought was really cool and really easy to use. Mid-Journey is it's not hard to use, but you gotta figure it out at first. But Adobe Firefly is very user friendly, but it's probably only available first. It's in beta right now. You have to get an invite, and I'm assuming they're only giving out the invites to Adobe Creative Cloud subscribers, of which I am one. I think Adobe Creative Cloud is a fabulous program, not that cheap, but it does a lot of stuff that I use. And hopefully it will go out of beta right now, because in beta they're forcing everyone to keep an ugly little watermark at the bottom left. But yeah, just go type in. There's a couple others I can't think of. There's a fourth one that I tried out as well. Maybe it's called Leonardo.ai. That's it. So you can go try that out. That is free. So maybe start there. See what you can get to come out of that. As far as the graphic design software, Canva has a free level, and it makes graphic design easy for the average person. And then there's Adobe, or it used to be called Adobe Spark. Now it's Adobe CC. Maybe it's just called no, that's Creative Cloud. Anyway, Adobe has their own version of Canva. I won't say it's, they do the same thing. It's, if you don't know how to use Photoshop and you don't know how to use Illustrator or Lightroom or InDesign, then Adobe has their product for that as well. It used to be called Spark. Maybe it still is. And then there's one other that's made, I think, by a Chinese company. And perhaps I sent it to Margot recently. She may remember. I have it written down because I keep a graphic design, a list of resources, so I can go find that out. But Canva's free. They just had like their 15 billionth piece of graphic design created. So tons of people use Canva. That's probably the easiest place to go. All right, next question. Okay. Marga, I don't know what your question is that you chatted in. I'm not sure if you put the full question in there. Oh, doing the planning on Airtable. So let's see. I'm not exactly sure what that question is, but it's something like, how can we use Airtable to do event planning? And I have definitely planned very large events using Airtable. I would not want to plan an event without Airtable. And I have even, like, I'm not really in charge of the wetland event in Illinois, so I don't have that much to keep track of, but I do have like the registrations. When people register, savethefrogs.com/wetlands-Illinois, their info goes into Airtable. But other events like Save the Frogs World Summit in Calcutta 2019, we had to keep track of expenses for the venue. We had to keep track of the volunteers. We had to keep track of live participants, and we had to keep track of the agenda, the speakers, what order they're speaking in, who's speaking at what time. Even for the Save the Frogs World Summit online, same thing. I've got to keep track of who has registered for the event and all the speakers, their bios, their, all the info about the speaker, when they're speaking, have they sent us everything, have they confirmed their time? And for that, Airtable is perfect for that. So if you have more details, then I can give you some more info on how to apply that to your event. So anyone out there, if you'd like to just tell us, summarize what's going on for your Save the Frogs event so that we know what's going on, and then anyone who watches this too, maybe they're in your part of the world and would want to show up or would be inspired by what you're going to do. And if you have any questions about your event, then let me know. And I'll also say, everyone out there, definitely register your event, savethefrogs.com/day-register, and then we know what your event is. Now, the Wetland Illinois event, I've already registered that, but other events, definitely register them. And any day I'm going to start building web pages dedicated to each of the events if people have agreed that they want their event listed online. And then other people can find your event.
Well, go ahead.
Sorry. I'll go ahead and ask a question then. So having done a few of these under your belt now, Kerry, are there any events, kind of side events that you have found to be particularly successful or engaging for a diverse age group of people?
What do you mean a side event?
So like we're doing some wetland dip netting and things like that. And so obviously part of our event is going to be wetland construction. So while that's going on, we have some events that we're planning just kind of like, wetland in a box stuff, like things like that people can do while that is going on, if that makes sense.
Yeah, a wetland in a box, would that be a container full of water straight from the wetland looking at what's in it?
Would be like a retention pond, sure, but we're opening, yeah, we've got some dirt and stuff and people can have, build a wetland.
Oh, I get it. Out of clay? Something
Yeah,
like that.
yeah.
Shape the wetland. Okay, yeah. I
Yeah.
did that. I did that during a Tom Biebekhauser course. Okay. Yeah, any of those activities are good. I mean, especially people have come there to learn about wetlands, and some of those people may want to build their own wetland, the whole thing start to finish. So that's definitely a good exercise. Construct a little wetland. I'll say for the wetland event, there's things like design a wetland, fill out the wetland form. Now, I'm guessing that most of the wetlands have already been designed there, but as an option, that's good. Dip netting, people always like that. Checking out any of the wildlife, getting to know any of the wildlife at the location is good. I'll be prepared to talk about frogs. All I ever need, I don't even need it, but I always travel with one of our Save the Frogs info cards, and we've got the threats to frogs, why frogs are important, and how to save frogs with various things people can do. And, I can just look at that and think of something to say about any of these topics, and that's good enough. Sometimes I travel with, or I usually don't, but I have traveled with Save the Frogs, like printed out slides. Take whatever, your favorite PowerPoint is. You can print slides, laminate them at the local office supply store, or maybe even your office. And then those things are good, and you can like hand them out if there's kids there. They like to hold the thing, look at the frog. So yeah, I think any of that's going to be good. I find like once you get people outside, everything's easy because everyone's just, usually relaxed in nature, and whatever is going on, they're going to be fine. So if I were you, I wouldn't stress too much about those activities. We've got me, you, and Tom there to, we'll be able to come up with plenty of stuff to do. But I'm up for all of those if you're trying to, put out an actual agenda.
Yeah, yeah, I figure between the three of us, we've done enough stuff, we can talk to people for sure. I just, if there's something you're just like, yeah, this works out great every time, everyone loves it, we'd incorporate it, but
Yeah, I don't ever have anything set like that. Last year, I led a Save the Frogs Day frogging walk, and we, visited two ponds. And at one pond, I think I just gave a, quick talk about amphibians and what's going on. And then at the other pond, I had Save the Frogs Little Book of Frog Poetry, Volume 1, and did a frog poetry recital for 5 or 10 minutes.
okay.
Yeah. Margot asked how many people are registered. So the people who've registered through the Save the Frogs Day site, I think there's about 10 people. Now I expect that to grow. I know, it's a long way to go for most people if they're not in Illinois, but what are your thoughts on that? Have you talked to a lot of people who say they're gonna show up there? And if so, I think you have access to see the registration list. Maybe people, if they have not registered, not that they need to register, but it'd be good if we knew. What are your thoughts on attendance?
Yeah, I know we've got about 15 that are, informal people, but say that they'll come, they just haven't registered. So it's a lot of our local conservation partners with, DNR, Pheasants Forever, stuff like that, people that were at the March workshop that were interested. So we've got confirmation for a lot of those people. I try to direct them to the website to register, but, sorry.
Yeah, I assume there's going to be more people there than who register through the site, but I'm fairly certain that anyone kind of outside of your realm, professional realm, is probably going to end up coming through the website. And
Yeah.
I'm always promoting it, so we'll see what happens. I know we've got some people coming from a long way away, such as Margot coming from upstate New York.
Right. Yeah, I know we've got like a local, I think it's a sixth grade class coming for like an hour or two to come out and, just watch things. So,
Yeah, good. That's a good idea.
yeah.
Margot, you want to tell us about your event?
Yes, it's being held on May 7th because the owner of the property is not going to be there the 28th, 8th, and 9th, and 30th, and I want to be in Illinois. But anyway, it's a 7.9 acre property in Pittsford, and the owners, particularly the woman, approached me in particular saying that she loves a frog house and she would like to do something to help, and invited us out to the property where she has a significant portion, probably more than half of the property is a wetland and also forest. So it's pretty wild yet. They're thinking of getting a conservation easement on it, and so they have a nice yard, and so I'll be able to. I mean, it's just sort of perfect for people to do little activities such as building a wetland in a box, or some of the other activities that we do that are environmentally educating, and also to go on a scavenger hunt down in the woods and the wetlands. And it's a family event, so we haven't actually set up the registration yet. And I wanted to come on this program this morning because I'm a little panicked. It's not very far away, and there are a lot of details to.
What are you panicked about?
Well, just that there are a lot of details to take care of, and I'm not the most organized of persons. So,
All right. Have you written out all the different things into a to-do list?
Yes, more or less, kind of. So we still don't have posters, but this year, realizing that it was such a perfect venue with everything right there, that and working with a young woman who is a doctor who has a Cub Scout pack and donated some Eastern pine. We have another event on April 26th, which is before the actually, when I'll be traveling to Illinois. And so I thought I'd like to involve scouts, because a lot of the activities that we're doing is could earn kids some points, and it would be a great way to for them to earn badges and learn about things about forestry and frogs and so forth. Our speaker is not going to be able to speak, so I'm going to have to be the expert this year, and I'm going to have to stop hiding behind a leaf and talk about the things that would be relevant to them in terms of their frog badge. And then Robert Corby will be there, and he can talk about anything, especially trees. And so we're probably going to skip the VIP luncheon unless we have it at a frog house. It's a 10-minute walk from a frog house to this property. And so she's very excited about having a little sign outside their property too, with our posters as soon as I can get them. So that's the summary, I think, of, did I answer your question? I have a tendency to fade off. I can't hear you, Kerry. Kerry.
What is the poster for? Is it digital, or it's going to be printed as well?
The poster is this thing that Catherine has been doing for me every time, showing the date, the time, the registration.
And it's going to be printed?
Yeah, we go to Staples.
As 8.5 by 11, or what's the size?
Yeah.
Okay. Should we make one right now?
If everyone is game with that.
I think we're game. Let's before we do that, let's see, Sherry. I know you can't turn your video on, but if you want to tell us anything, even if you don't have your current event set, maybe you can remind us what took place in the past when you held events, or any tips you've learned from past Save the Frogs Day experience. And otherwise, we will go do this Canva. All right, let's go ahead. I'm going to switch it over to Canva. Let's see what's going on over there. All right, you hear that in the background? That's the guy selling bananas in the street. Oh, guanabanas. All right, so let's see what's going on. If I already had a Canva account and I had something I liked, just like Margot said that, you know, there's some poster recycling going on, I could always just go look at old designs I want and just hit this button right here to make a copy, and it would just duplicate. Then I change out the info. But let's start something from scratch, especially since it's for a frog house. So what we can do is get back to home, and then we can just search. Okay, so, you know, event, environmental, frogs. Really, we could probably start with anything, but let's just see what happens if I type in frog events. All right, well, it gives me my own stuff, so let's get out of there. And let's just come back here, print products, see what they have for choices. Templates. All right, let's see more. Infographics, desktop, graphics, book covers, mind maps, magazine, calendars, posters. So let's go to posters and see what's going on. These are just pre-made things that we can just remix, as they call it. Start with any of these if we want. Now, do you have something you're going for? Like, you want a white background? You want colored background? Does it matter? Do you have a lot of text or just a little text?
Well, it depends. It's more than what's there. It has to have the time, the place,
Okay.
and the details about how to register.
Okay. All right. Well, let's do this. Okay. This has.
There was one up above that sort of appeal.
Okay. tell me where to go or what.
It was higher up. It was
Okay.
more so like this gray dark orange, but go back a little bit. Go towards the beginning a little bit.
Left, right, up, down.
You're going the right direction. Well, I don't know if it'd work.
All right. Well, let's just go. We can change everything. We're going to be changing a lot of things. So just as a, let's just click this thing. Okay. Customize this template. And now, do you know your official organization colors, the hexadecimal code? Do you have any text that you can put into the chat so I can just paste it into this thing? Or do you want to just tell me, like, what's the headline going to be?
15th annual Save the Frogs Day.
All right, so now let me see if it'll let me change the case. There you go, perfect. Okay, so there's that. Do you know an official font of your organization? Any? Oh,
There is an official font, but I
yeah.
can't.
All right, well, what I suggest you use Coda. So in Coda, create a document called logo, colors, and branding, or something to that effect. Branding, colors, logo, font. Like when I can't remember what, I just do a search like, oh, where's that document all about logo? Okay, and in there, you should have the official hexadecimal colors of your organization. And do you know what a hexadecimal color is? Or a hexadecimal code, hex code? Okay, well, look right here. If I click this right here and hover over it, I see the hexadecimal code right there. Any color on the web has a hex code, okay? If it's, I don't know, RGB, CMYK may be different, but anyway, you're probably gonna have a hex code and you should know those. So I know my hex codes. For orange, it's F5821F, there it is, and for green, it's 72AF43. There it is. Okay, I've memorized them for many years of using them. I use them all the time. That's how you get your consistency, is to always use the same color. Okay, so ideally you'd want to be consistent and use your organization's colors in there and the font. All right, so for Save the Frogs, I'm going to use Rockwell Bold or Berlin Sans FB Demi Bold, and that's how I'm going to keep it looking consistent. So Canva will let you store your preferred fonts right in there. That's definitely not it. Demi Bold right there. Now it's looking a bit more Save the Frogs like. Okay, and then these things, you know, maybe we like them, maybe we don't. One thing that is amazing about Canva is that there's these elements right here. So you can type in whatever you're looking for. So let's say that we're looking for frogs, okay? I want a frog. Now I could either use this legally obtainable photos of frogs. I can click see all to use more. Would you like a photo of a frog or some frog art or what?
Well, we have a specific frog art that we use, which I could show you.
Yeah, I mean, put it in the chat if it's a JPEG or something. But do you always use the same art? You don't change it up or what?
It's pretty much the same branding.
Okay, are you referring to like a logo?
Well, there's a logo that says the Frog House, which is in a particular type.
Okay.
And then there's a little frog and lily pads, which she rearranges in different ways.
Okay, I get it. So you're kind of remixing your own art, the theme of.
Correct.
Okay, all right. Well, if you want to send it to me, I can put it up here. And for now, though, just because we're just going by examples or something, hey, here we've got a frog. All right, now let's get rid of all these things. I don't know, that one's kind of cool looking. Let's get rid of that, though. Now we've got a frog and we've got some grass, and we need to know what time is the event, or what's your like second most important stuff. So I'm just going to lower the font size to make it a little bit lesser importance. Do you have a you know, it's May 7th, is that right?
Correct. 1 to 5.
So we can, May 7th, 1 to 5 p.m. All right, good. And then we'd want to know that it's taking place in Pittsford. Is that right?
Mhm.
Okay, so I use the option in most graphic design programs. If you hit the option key on a Mac, something else on a PC to the left of the spacebar, and drag down, you can get the same exact thing. And then we can just type in it and change the font again. So Pittsford, New York, and we need some space now. So let's move this up. Oh. All right, is
I'm
there,
gonna copy the link in here for anyone can look at it if they want.
okay.
Certainly done a
All
billion.
right. Now, what is in that? I try to avoid Drive because whenever I click on a link, it seems to download everything into my drive and
Well,
it fills up.
well,
What is in that link?
the link is to flyers, so there are different flyers. So,
Flyers you've used in the past?
mhm.
Okay.
Here's the
Um,
one for Save the Frogs Day.
yeah. All right. I'm not going to click on it right now, but if there's any actual file in there, like a JPEG that you
Okay.
want to send in, then I can easily insert it into this image
Here's
and we can
a
see what happens.
JPEG here.
Okay. Can you put it in the chat?
I'll try. Yeah.
Now, is there a URL? I mean, we know that let's click in here and we know we've got a froghouse.org, and let's go change out our case on that. A froghouse.org. Do you usually have that all? Let's just leave it like that for now. Really, to keep consistent in our font, I'd rather just duplicate that thing and then make it smaller. Do you have the web page URL for the event?
Yes, I do. Let me do
Okay.
that.
Now, for flyers, it's especially important that we have short, clean URLs because space is a major limitation on any flyer. So for that, even if your URL is long, it would be good to have a short, easily remembered URL, such as, sorry, it's not 2020, it's not 2013 anymore, it's 2023. So we can go like that. And then even if you have a long URL for the event, we can set up a redirect really easily in WordPress that this would take people there. And this also made me think of another thing. It's going to be printed out, and on printed materials, QR codes are good to have. All right, so what? All right, good. So this is 2022. Yeah, so ideally you would have the native file for this, and then any designer would be able to open up to just super quickly have a new one, or you just make a new design every year and keep it fresh. Now, what is the part that you like to always have, like those frogs that are at the top?
Yeah, the little frogs and the lily pad and the little scanning thing.
Okay.
And,
Ideally, you would have those.
and that's the font she uses for Frog House.
Yeah. And do you know what the font is?
No.
Okay. Yeah, that's all stuff that's super important for institutional knowledge, that you have a list of here's the colors we use as hexadecimal codes. Here are the fonts that we use, and that you have the file for your logos as the native files. Because there's obviously more going on than just the font. We've got the hand inside of the Frogs Day.
She's
Okay.
already quit once.
Say it again.
She's already quit once.
She's quit once. Well, that's why that's that much more important for you to always have the files. Like your logo's your logo. That's if a graphic designer quit and never gave me the logo, then to me that would be like, you know,
Theft.
kind of. It's like if I paid you, then the logo was what I paid you for. Give me the logo. Otherwise, you're like, why did I pay you? You kept the logo. Um, so anyway,
So here's the URL for the event that's there now.
okay, good. So we'll just send them to the events page. Good idea, and hopefully it'll be easy to find right there. All right, good. What else is important for someone reading a poster? Remember, people reading a poster don't have a lot of time and there's not a lot of space. So something like all ages welcome, free to attend, $5 donation appreciated, or anything else that should be here.
Yeah, I was wondering about that, if we should charge money or just ask for donation.
Okay. What has been your success in the past in response from people when you have paid versus free events?
We have paid events and they come in for free.
Is that because there's no one, there's no bouncer?
No,
You're
no,
not the
because they
bouncer at the
say
door?
no, I'm good, thanks.
I'm good. Okay, you're good, but make us good. Give us the money. You have a ticket? Can I see your ticket, please?
Well, I do have a donors page, and I have various windows where I can actually I can tell you how much I donated and how much came in from donations and from ticket sales. If anybody is interested, I don't know if they are.
Well, I think you should just know, or even just have it should kind of be in your head as like, those ticketed events didn't do well. Like no one showed up. If people are showing up to a ticketed event and not
Yeah, they
paying
do.
but if they're not paying for a ticket, then either they didn't know or someone just needs to say, yeah, it's $5 to enter. And it looks like you've got nice shoes on your feet and can probably afford it. Whereas if it's some like kid, then it's like, yeah, that's cool, whatever. But
Right.
I don't, it's either ticketed or not. It's America. People know what a ticket is. So yeah, I think it's just up to you. For me, I usually I can't remember the last time I ever charged anyone to attend a kind of presentation event. I'd rather have people out there, make sure you get their email addresses if they're not already on your email list, and then you've got all your, the life of them as an email subscriber to get a donation from them that hopefully is going to be bigger than $5.
Right.
And give
Well,
a
to answer your question specifically, it was like 10%. It was I got 12,500 in donations from other people, and I
Okay.
got 2,400 from ticket sales.
at one event.
No, from the
Ah,
whole year of
okay.
2022.
Yeah, so if we could get you $12,000 at one event, that'd be great. Some people do, go to a New York City gala. So you've got to put on your New York City gala atmosphere as you give a speech in the middle of the event, and ask people to donate. Say, hey, have a cool, I'm sure you have it in a frog house, some glass jar with a frog house or Save the Frog sticker on it that says like, donations appreciated. People can see inside it, stuff it in advance with like, a $5 bill,
Yep,
so that
we
people
do
know
that.
like $5 bills are what you put in here.
We've done
And
that forever. Yeah.
okay, good. Yeah. So you have that out in a very visible place, put it beside the juice or something like that. And, but give a actual donation appeal and don't feel shy about it. And you could even walk over there and say, I'm going to put in the first $20 bill or something like that. And, you know, that's what I would do. You got some funds for this event from Save the Frogs. So, um, it shouldn't be critical, the ticketing for it. What I would do on this next thing, first off, so yeah, let's just go ahead. You can always change it later. I can share this Canva. I'm pretty sure I can just send you this, make it a shareable image. And really Canva also right here in the share, You could just like I've never used it, but there's something right here that says share to web, I'm pretty sure, and it'll actually turn it into a web page that some people use those. Anyway, let's put right here, let's get rid of this, delete, and then again I'm going to use option click and drag to create this free. I like putting free big so people see it, and all ages welcome. Like that, free, all ages welcome, and we can make it a little bit smaller. Ooh, so if I hold in option while I do this, then it'll keep it centered right in that position. All right, so now we just need to make sure there's always some border there. And then I don't know what size this is right now. So I'm going to click resize, and we see that right now we're in centimeters. Click it into inches, and it's at 16.5 by 24. I think that's what it's currently at. We don't want that. Are we correct in saying we want 8.5 by 11?
Yes.
Okay, so when you have a pro account, you can resize images using this button. If you don't have pro, then it's probably going to be a little bit more difficult. Let's go find, this is all in pixels. Why is it in pixels?
Can't you just change the inches up
yeah,
there?
I'm just going to put it right here. And I'm going to say, I don't need a copy of it, so let's just resize. And it'll move everything around. And
Don't we have to put in the address?
Okay, now you could put the address, or else everyone goes to the website.
Oh, I see. Which might.
But we can put the address if you want. It doesn't even have to be big. Like maybe someone will. You know what I used to do back in the day? We'd have 8.5 flyers, and then we'd have the little, you scissor cut the bottom of it, and then you pull off the little thing from the bottom to call the phone number or whatever. Because we'll assume the person is, well, they may take a picture of it. Let's go ahead and put it there, and we'll find a place.
You could put it up with the day in smaller letters at 50 Mitchell Road.
Okay, Pittsford, New York. I can just put it right below there. Let's go like that. So Save the Frogs Day is all on one line. And we could even use a little bit more space, vertical spacing. So what's that called? Leading, perhaps. Line spacing. I'm going to increase that a little bit. All right, good. And then we can move that up. So let's just put it right below there. Not that that's standard, but it's most important is that it's in Pittsford. So 50 Mitchell Road.
Mm-hmm. I hope this is helpful for the other two guests.
Well, it'll be helpful for someone who's watching it on a video, regardless. If there's people, if you've never used Canva, then there's other people who haven't used Canva, and now we're seeing that it shouldn't be a roadblock to have to wait for a graphic designer or something like that, because we've got free tools. If we didn't want this blue back here, I think it looks cool, but for printing, it's more printer ink. Are you going to print these personally, or are you going to take them to a printing shop and have them print? Staples, and they're not going to charge you based on the background color, I'm sure. So are you fine with this blue background, or do you want a different color? I mean, your official organization color blue would be good. Now, there's a way to figure out what it is, or at least get close to it, in that you could determine afroghouse.org. So there are definite tools where you can probably like a Chrome extension. I don't know if I have one installed right here. I may not, but you'd be able to click any color on the web, and it would tell you its best guess at what color it is. But it's best to just know your precise colors. Like here's
there's a color if you go up to the sign on the house above, on the picture of the house up above.
Yeah.
Okay, so see that green, for example, that's in the leaf, or the green that's in the frog.
Yeah. Oh, but I don't have the tool installed
for
to
the pig?
determine it. But
Right.
look at this. We can inspect every web browser that's remotely popular has an inspect tool, and now we can see the code of the page. And it may tell us right here
Oh,
what our color is. Okay, in the style, we'd maybe be
oh,
able to see the color. I'm going to click here to the arrow. Okay, and I'm going to click on that green. Did it
cool.
do it? Did I? And let's see if in the right side, if we can find our green color. There it is. Look, here's our color. That's probably it right there.
Wow.
So there's our hex code. And now, and we even have variations on the greens that are used. You must have different colors showing up here, complementary colors, like right there. Okay, now that green, which green do you prefer? Because we've got white text. No, we don't. We have yellow. I mean, we'd have to change all the text first before we do anything
Well, it has to be the
tricky.
darker green because otherwise
Yeah.
it will blend in with the frog, which is okay because of
All
camouflage.
right. So let's go ahead and use, I think, let's try this one right here. And now I can come and click on the background, and right here is my color, background color, and I need to add a new color. So right here, I'm gonna put my hex code. There you go. Now we've got the
Wow.
like weird green yellow thing going on. And now let's go ahead and change out the yellow. Okay, so now that could be a blue from your organization, or it could just be this light green, may work out just fine. Let's try it out. All right, so no, I mean it's easy to read. It's not like popping out like it was before. Let's see if we can. No, that frog house is a photo, so we're not going to find it. Okay, I don't know. I kind of liked it before, but what do you think? You want the blue and yellow like we had before, or you like this green background, or what?
Um, it's all good. I
Okay,
let
another
you, the
choice is
artist,
just.
decide.
I mean, for easiest viewing, just white. White on anything dark is going to be easy. Maybe not quite so
Yeah,
colorful, but let's just do that
yeah,
for
it
now.
matches his eyes. That's nice. That's pretty fun.
All right, good.
Feels to
That's
youngsters.
easy.
Yep.
Now, so let's see. Really, I like my URLs at the very bottom. So let's put this up a notch. Okay, good. So that's clean, easy to read. You've got a big frog to catch the frog lovers' attention when they
Mm-hmm.
see it. You got the name of the event, the date, the time, the location. You've got the URL. What you're missing is a logo. So let's just, for now, at a minimum, let's get out of our inspector phase and go find your logo. Now this right here, I can, maybe it's my eyes, but it's a little bit blurry. Like you could probably have a slightly higher resolution logo there. But is that your official logo right there that we would put
Yeah.
on this? Okay,
Mhm.
so let me just um, save the image. Yes, logo. All right, so it's got no background in this instance. Maybe better. Let's see what happened. It just went on there like super huge.
Was that the logo?
I think so. Let's see what
Yeah.
happened. Oh, there it is, but something went way in the background too. I'm not sure why. Let me undo. I don't know what just happened. There it is. Okay. All right. So it's not showing up too well. we'd need to put a background behind it, I think. Be good to have a square logo as well, but hey, it's a different thing. Let's see what would happen if I put the background behind it. So let's go find elements and just click on white square or white rectangle. And that is not a white rectangle. All right, so this is not ideal. This is just a fast solution. Now, so this is behind the white rectangle, so I'm going to click position and move it to the front. There it is. All right, so it's not the best place to put it, that's for certain, and it'll get cut off during printing if it's like that. But is that remotely fine with you to have this white background there?
It's remotely fine, yeah.
Okay, very good. Now, the two of them, I'm just going to go ahead and group them. I clicked on both of them. Now they're grouped, so I can actually move them around and put them wherever I want it to go. And let's just put it right there for now. See what's going on. All right, so
I would put it up on top of the 15th annual.
right up there. Okay,
Yeah.
yeah. So then let's just move this stuff down a bit.
You can make it a little small.
Make a little bit of space. There you go. And now, before you have them print out 100 of them, make sure it's actually going to print without chopping the top off. Move them both down a little bit. All right, so Canva, in most programs, you can see this vertical pink line going down the middle. It'll show you that when you're actually centered. So that's where we want to be, I think. Just kind of by eye, kind of good enough, I think. Okay, so anyway, we're not professionals, but this gets the job done and looks kind of cool to me. And if you wanted to do anything, you know, to make it pop out, there's various effects you could use, such as right here, you can put on a drop shadow or something and see what happens with that. Pick a different color, a different shade of green. And maybe that helps, or maybe it doesn't do too much. Maybe we'll just get rid of that. Okay, now I'll share this with you. Oh,
Thank
the
you.
one other thing, here's another thing. First off, hey, we're actually over time. If anyone has any questions or anything to say, if, you know, I don't even know who is still out there. Everyone's still on here, it appears. But if you have any questions, let us know right now, because we're going to close this up soon. And just turn on your mic or send in a chat. Meanwhile, what I was thinking was the next thing we can do, we can go to qrcodemonkey.com. That's your
I've already got a
that
QR
works.
code.
You do have, for this event, you have a QR code?
Oh no, it's the it goes to link, I think, and then it goes to the website, etc.
Okay. Well, what we want is a QR code that takes them to the events page. We want a QR code for this URL. So QR code -monkey. And I like this site a lot. I don't use it too much because I don't make too many QR codes, but this site lets us take our hexadecimal colors and put our logo in the middle so that we actually get an artistic looking QR code versus some ugly black and white computerized looking thing. So you can set your colors. This is why it's good to always have a file with your QR code. So I'd know I'd go 72AF43 and F5821F. And let's see, create QR code. I need to put in a URL, add the logo image. So Right there, upload your logo image. And remove the background behind the logo. Okay. Not too worried about that. Customized design. You can put some kind of curvature on the edges. And you need to give it a URL. That's the most important thing. So enter the content. That's what it is. So it would be afroghouse.org/events. And now create the QR code. Let's see what happens. Boom. So those color, whoa, yeah, the orange and green look good when they're apart, but never on top of each other. So you pick one of these. 0000000 is black. Create the QR code, and you just have to use your organization's colors. And then like I'd probably put a blue squares with white background or something like that. Anyway, then it just lets you download the ping file, and then you would just put that somewhere, if indeed, like right here. It doesn't have to be big, and hopefully it wouldn't be intrusive or anything like that. And boom, you're done. I'll put this link in the chat, QR code -monkey. All right, good.
Wonderful.
Yeah, I'll send you a share link for that. Okay. Anything else? I will take that as a no. All right. Thanks for showing up. Thanks for Save the Frogs Day event holding. Everyone out there, hope you learned something about graphic design for your event and anything else that came up about Save the Frogs Day that can hopefully help you have an amazing Save the Frogs Day event. Be sure to register your event, savethefrogs.com/day-register. And we may have one more of these events with more notice given in upcoming weeks. So that's it. I am Save the Frogs founder, Dr. Kerry Kriger. Thanks for helping Save the Frogs.